Real estate, people say, well, I'm investing in real estate. I go, well, what kind of real estate? Some people flip houses. Some people, I don't know what they do. They fix them up and then they re-rent them. Or whatever. There's millions and millions of ways. There's warehousing, warehousing. There's golf courses. There's hotels, apartment houses. That's the worst investment in real estate. Homes.
Well, that makes sense.
And what most losers do is they buy themselves a big home, and then the next thing they buy is a
vacation home.
Did we do that, Kim?
We did.
Yes, we're the biggest losers.
And
we have 3 vacation homes like idiots.
And one we kind of rent out occasionally, but it's certainly not an asset. It is a liability.
Yeah. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, so what should I invest in? I said, well, how about education? The next one are multifamily condos. Kim and I have had condos. They're almost worse than vacation homes. Reason is homeowners associations, HOAs.
Homeowners associations. And they often say, too, the last thing to become successful before the market turns are condominiums.
Yep.
So if all of a sudden condominiums are becoming very popular, you may want to look and see something may be changing in the near future.
Yep. I love the HOA, Homeowners Association. I have other definitions of that name. But Kim has seen me go to war against those guys, and I tell you, you cannot talk to homeowners associations.
Which is a really good point, because if you're investing in real estate, is there a homeowners association you have to deal with? Because a lot of homeowners associations do not like renters. They want owner occupied.
Oh, worse than that, our HOA, when Kim and I were first starting out years and years ago, we just painted one of our units and they told us to change the paint. I went, wait a minute, we just finished. And they said, we don't like your paint. Well, so I don't like you. And then we went to war again,
Well, a lot of those people...
They called them their attorneys and I called them my attorneys. It was horrible.
That was people with too much time on their hand.
So let me give you the next worst. Single family homes.
High income.
High income. For rich people and all that, they want to buy them and flip them and do whatever they do.
But you think about that, and let's say, the market's doing well, the economy's doing well, and so you have this expensive home that you're renting out, and all of a sudden the economy turns, and the first thing usually that people do is they go to something cheaper. So those high-end homes start sitting on.
Or they buy a high-end home, they want to flip it. And then the economy reverses on them.
And they get flipped.
They get flipped over. But the good thing about a single family, you're not part of an HOA.
But it's single family, moderate, and workforce.
Yeah, and that's where we started.
That's where we started. That's where most of our apartment buildings are moderate to workforce.
Workforce, not high-end, not glitzy. Basically, as Kenny McElroy would say, next stop is a street. And if they don't pay their rent, they got no place else to go, unfortunately. So we take good care of them, but they take good care of us.
And it's a good point, too, with the moderate workforce, because you got to, if you're going to be renting apartments or single-family homes, you want to make sure there's jobs, and people have a lot of jobs where that's the main criteria. So that makes a lot of sense. And if the market does turn, moderate to workforce is not, people may downsize to that.
Right. So you always have a market for workforce. It's just above the street, as Kenny would say. They got no place else to go, and they're very happy to have a home and all this. And they generally, I would say, 60% are great tenants. Look, we had that friend Kathy, from Australia, and she was buying all these right after the crash here in Phoenix when single-family homes were dirt cheap. She was buying them up and putting 4 or 5 beds per unit in these houses, and she had one big problem. She was a horrible manager, and people were dying of starvation and all those other things. Master plan communities. You know what's lovely about master plan communities? They look good. They're easy to rent to. People love them and all this, but they are kind of a master plan communities, and they too have that dreaded HOA, homeowners associations, which I just despise. And the next category, moving up the worst list, is manufactured homes. Deals on wheels. So Kim and I attended workshops on deals on wheels, taught by this famous guy. He is really funny. But he said the first thing you do is you have this vacant lot and you invite people to move their homes, their mobile homes, onto the lot. And the first thing you do is you buy them a tree. And so you give them this tree and you ask them to plant it. And they plant it naturally in front of the mobile home, so the home is no longer mobile. I said, Jesus.
They don't want to leave their tree.
Well, they can't get the house out of they have to cut the tree down.
Yep.
And I'm going, God, this guy is a genius, man. I mean, I can't believe it, So that was Deals on the Wheels. I talk about the McDonald's model. What business is McDonald's in? They're in real estate, but you better know the hamburger business before you go into that. Not only are school teachers, but they're financial planners or financial advisors, they're stockbrokers or real estate brokers. And I get tired of it. I mean, as Kim knows, I'm probably not long for this business because I sit there, I say the same thing. Take a class, get educated. It's your money. Oh, no, just tell me what to do. And I get sick and tired of it. So that's why, I'd rather go and talk to guys like Rickards, and we're talking about the Ravens, is how to predict the future. Well, it's not easy. It's not that hard to predict the future. If somebody is really stupid, they're going to be broke. Period. I don't care what business you're in, real estate, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, commodities. And most people just want to sit there and be told what to do. I can't believe it. I mean, I just really can't believe it. I mean, I hated school, but I like learning. And really, it is time. If you're going to get smart, you better understand what a real teacher is and a fake teacher. And to me, I get sick and tired of talking to people who think real estate's about making money. It's a business. And it's a very profitable business for the right people. But 90% of the people are idiots. They don't know what to do. And Kim and I have had partners say, yeah, I know real estate. I bought 6 houses. For what? To live in. Well, buying a house to live in is not the real estate business. You better really know what you're talking about today and listen to people who know what they're talking about.
People, they work all day, every day for money. I mean, they spend their whole life, they give their whole life to work for money, yet they don't take any time to study money or to study how to grow their money or to study what to do with their money, yet they spend their entire life working for it.
No, and think about fake assets. They give their money to Wall Street. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, and savings. Those aren't assets. They're liabilities to you. Well, I was told to do that.
I was told to save money and put money in the stock market. But that's all.
Invest for the long term.
Education goes.
So that's my frustration. After years and years and years of being and teaching, people still ask the same stupid question. What should I do with my money? Is it real estate? Should I get in stocks? Well, why don't you take a stupid class and learn something? That's why my message for today.